Welcome to the Holistic Success Show. I'm Elizabeth Lozano.
And I'm Dr. Robert Puff. Today we're going to have a work passion expert.
Dr. Puff is going to be giving us a beautiful challenge, and he's also going to be talking to us about some of the effects of negative choices that we can make.
And a question from you about how meditation and music can be aligned.
Our other question is about some of the potential causes for us to be self-conscious and withdrawn. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the show.
I'd like to offer for you a challenge, a one-week challenge that you'll need to do one day at a time because it's going to be a difficult challenge. For 1 week, at one day at a time, live a beautiful, positive, loving life towards others and towards yourself. And perhaps if I describe what that day will look like, it would help you to know the challenge I'm giving you. You wake up in the morning and you wake up cheerfully. You don't watch the news. And if you watch anything, it's positive, beautiful messages. You have a healthy breakfast. You meditate. You go for a walk. You spend loving conversations with those around you. When you go to work or school, whatever you do that day, you only surround yourself and participate in loving, kind conversations. You have a healthy lunch. Again, you go for a walk. And then for dinner, same way, eat well. Eat healthily. Stay away from addictions. If you're used to having a few glasses of wine at the end of the day, just don't that week. If you're used to waking up for coffee, just don't that week. If you're used to doing things that have addictive qualities to them, if you watch negative TV or things that are sitcoms that really cut other people down, just stay away from them for one day, 7 days in a row. Now the hardest part of this challenge is actually going to be your mind right here. You're going to have a tendency to still be critical in your head towards others and towards yourself. But with kindness, just say, okay, I can today be kind towards myself. I cannot criticize my weight. I cannot critique another person's behavior. For one day, I can do that. If you do that 7 days in a row, perhaps what you'll find is that your life that week will be very different than you've ever experienced it before. And it may not be what you expect, but what you may find is that God, the universe, makes that week a very beautiful week because you are living in the present moment and you're just focused on the now. And doing that for 1 week can really change your life. And if you take the time to say, I'm going to commit for 1 week, 7 days in a row, to be present, to be positive, to be loving, to do the things that I've learned in my life that are good for me. We all kind of know what's good for us. And do those things for 1 week. I think what you'll find is that week will have such an impact on your life that you may choose to keep living that way. And if you keep living that way, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 1 decade, 1 life can be a beautiful life. What helped me was to really live the 1 day at a time. If I thought about doing it for the rest of my life, it's challenging. But today, I can do many things if I don't think about the future. So I encourage you today, for 7 days, take this challenge and let us know how it went. Peace.
Our first question this week is from Robin in Perth, Australia. When I come home from work, I listen to instrumental music, which relaxes me. Could this be a form of meditation?
Robin, I first want to define what is meditation. Meditation is quieting your mind and being focused on one thing only, and just that one thing, so that instead of the constant egoic thoughts going through your head saying good, bad, just planning for the future, thinking about the past, and all the ways we kind of bounce all over the place, when you're meditating, you're present. You're here, right now, and you stay there. So what helps with meditation is having a rhythm, like a prayer word or a mantra or following your breath, just something that helps you stay present with what is, and you stay present with that thing over and over and over again. The beautiful thing about music is music can do that for you. If you have music that typically is more repetitive, it may be like going back to the same theme or the same instrumental kind of rhythm to it, but you just breathe with it, or you focus on it and you stay with that. What you'll find is your mind will get to that quiet spot where you lose egoic thoughts and you get into a very deep meditative state. So I would really encourage you to use music as part of your meditation practice, because it can really be helpful. What do you think?
I think music can be great to play while you're meditating. And in fact, if you've listened to our Meditation for Health podcast, which is on our website and on iTunes, you'll find that the guided meditations that I do, I frequently, actually every time I use music, because I really find that it helps me actually get into that really relaxed state where I'm actually able to quiet my mind, and it helps me to quiet my mind. Because sometimes it's really hard when you have a mind, which all of us do, that just ping-pongs back and forth. And really meditation is, it's baby steps that we take to really train our mind to start to quiet itself, and it's amazing what can come from that. But there is certain types of music for me. For some reason, the sitar, I don't know what it is, but that instrument just puts me in, like, I just go in this state of relaxation with it. But the key is, as Dr. Puff had said, it's great if you're using music, but the key will be to quiet your mind, because we can still be listening to music and be having relaxing thoughts, but it's really about just getting rid of the thoughts, getting rid of the mental commentary. And if they come, you witness it and then just get back to being still and being quiet, because it's amazing what just a relaxed state that you can get in, and just how deep you can go when you're actually totally quiet, without any commentary, without any judgment or thought about this or that, or what you forgot, or did I forget to do this, or I have to do this. Just really being still.
I know you know this, but I don't know if all our viewers know this. The oldest form of meditation in the world is called shamanism. And what shamans do is they beat a drum, boom, 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 which is really music, and they would use that to get themselves into a meditative state. So that really goes to show that meditation and music often go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. They most definitely do, and I really think that it can really deepen your meditation practice, just as long as you're doing what we had talked about. Just make sure that you're at least attempting to quiet your mind. It will take time, especially if you first started, but just work on it and know that maybe perhaps this music really helps me and it helps me get in that relaxed state. Great, use that, because we're not going to say this music is better than that music. Every person's different for what fits to them.
Well, and try the music that works best for you.
Yes, very important. Thank you so much, and we wish you all the best in your path towards a deepened meditation. Are you or someone you love struggling with depression, anger, or anxiety? Have you suffered a loss, or are you struggling to keep your relationship alive? Do you have a child or teen who needs help? You don't have to face it alone. We are here to help you create the change you need in your life to be happy again. Visit us at www.ocmentalhealthexperts.com for more information. Tranquility and peace. Find freedom and relaxation no matter where you are or who you're with. Be still, be free. Meditation for Health and Happiness, available at www.holistichealth.tv.
Not feeling the way you want to feel? Isolated? Worried? Frustrated? Or is your child struggling? There are lots of labels. Our body is a system. It can affect our feelings. Sometimes you need a little help to understand what is happening, to make a plan for improvement, to take control of your body and mind. Insightful Minds, Psychiatry for Children, Adults, and Families. Call us for an appointment or go to insightfulminds.org.
Our guest today is an expert on the topic of passion. Her name is Jackie Ducey, and she's a public speaker and professional facilitator of a method called the Passion Test. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So what is the Passion Test? Can you share with us what that is?
Absolutely. So it's actually based on a book by Chris and Janet Atwood. It's a great read if anyone wants to check it out. So I actually got certified to teach the methods that are in the book. Chris and Janet are personal friends of mine, and they have given me their blessing to basically teach the exercises. And so what it is, it's a series of exercises really that someone can go through, and it gets you really crystal clear about what your passions are in life. So,
which is sad that some people don't know, but it's awesome that you guys can kind of tap into that. I think what happens is people, they're like, oh, I can't do that, or I can't do that, and then they're in this place of like, oh, I just should do this, and you guys kind of help them tap back into what they might be passionate about.
Absolutely. I mean, I think from the time that we're young children, really, we're sort of pushed and pulled in so many different directions by parents, by friends, society, the media, wherever. And then we sort of lose track of who we are as people and what's really true to our heart. So this test really kind of helps you get back to yourself and then figure out where to go from there.
Now, I know that you're really passionate about giving these passion tests.
Right.
How did you come to get to the point where you're doing this and get taught in this?
Definitely. So prior to the passion test, I was actually doing recruiting full-time in the corporate world, which I liked. But I was interviewing people all the time, as you can imagine. As a recruiter, that's what you do. And I just saw constantly how not passionate people really were. So I would ask them questions.
And that comes across, right? I think people should know that comes across. Is that somebody you're going to want to hire when you're like, oh yeah, I'm really excited about this, woohoo.
Right, and if they don't know what they want in their ideal job situation or in their life, how can I place them properly? So, you know, they just didn't have that great energy 9 times out of 10, and that really made me realize that this is an epidemic, I think, in this country, that people just don't have that passion, and that's how I got interested. I just felt like there had to be something that I could do to help people to figure it out.
Now, why would you say that passion is so important? Because we often talk about this on the show. It's really important for you to have passion, but I would like for you, you're like, this is your expertise. Why is that so important for people to have passion?
I think there's 2 reasons, really. First and foremost, it's so crucial to your happiness. I mean, we all want that feeling where we get up in the morning and instead of hitting the snooze button, we're jumping out of bed, like, excited about our life. So if you're living with passion, you're happier. I think what's so crucial, though, for people to understand is that how passionate you are directly links to how successful you will be in your life. People who have good energy, who love what they do, attract more clients, they make more money. It's just a true thing, you know. The example that I always give is if you're going to sell your house, for example, and you're interviewing a couple of different real estate agents. If realtor number 1 comes in and they've got some good work experience, but they're just kind of neutral.
Emotions.
Right, and then the second one comes in and they just totally love your house, they love you, they can't wait to get started. I mean, realistically, who are you going to be more likely to hire?
Oh, the second one.
Yeah, so people with passion attract more good things to them and they do make more money.
So what are some of the things that you look for in this test? I mean, let's say I'm somebody who comes in and I'm not really sure of what I really want to do, and I come into you. What are some of the things that this passion test kind of taps into? Like, how can it really help somebody with this?
The thing that I have to work with people the most on is distinguishing between passions, which is what you truly love and what lights you up and gets you excited, versus what are the things that you want that are goals and what are obligations. You know, moms, for example, always say, well, I want my kids to be healthy and I want good relationships. Well, that's so universal. Of course, every mother is going to want that, but we will talk about it and oftentimes find that maybe the real passion is traveling with your family or something different. So we dig deeper and figure out, well, what is at the gut of what the passion really is.
So it sounds like this is more than just for work, or is it? Or
oh yeah, it's about your whole life. It's creating a picture for what your ideal life looks like. So it can cover all areas from career to relationships to hobbies to spirituality. I mean, really, it's different for every person, and the possibilities are sort of endless.
Yeah, I know right now we're in a time where there's been a lot of people who've been laid off, or maybe they're having a hard time finding a job. How can this be beneficial for somebody like that?
It sort of depends. I mean, I think clarity is the most important thing, and it's the first step to getting where you want to be. So what the test will give those people is the clarity to say, you know what, I'm going to welcome this break right now. Let me take a step back and really get in touch with what's in my heart and what I want out of the next phase of my life. And after having that clarity, it puts them on track to really attract the opportunity or go out and get the opportunity that they really need and that's more aligned with where they should be.
Yeah, and that kind of goes in line with what I was saying before, is that, you know, it's like if you're looking to get a job just because you want money and you want to pay the bills, but it's something that you totally don't like and you hate, you're going into this job and this interview, or even if you're in this place like, oh, I'm not going to get hired, that energy comes across.
It totally does. It totally does. People can feel it immediately when someone walks into a room. And again, with recruiting, that was what I found all the time. You can just tell. You know, employers want people who exude this confidence and really want to be a part of their company because they have so many people to pick from right now. you know, if they don't project that, they don't have a prayer, you know, so.
So it sounds like you also help give people hope and give them kind of confidence that they need. How does that kind of tie in with everything as well?
It's just so uplifting. You know, what I think is amazing about the test is that when people take it and they walk away with their list of their top 5 passions, I have done this with hundreds of people now, and I have never, ever seen 2 lists of top 5 that are the same, or even remotely the same. That's how amazing this is, and it's just, it gives you a snapshot of who the person is. So it's so uplifting because they come away with this and they go, oh my God, this is me on paper in 5 little statements, and this is what I need to keep in mind and now align my life with to be on purpose.
So how long does it take to take one of these tests?
It's 2 sessions. You actually take, when I do a one-on-one with somebody, it's 2 sessions, but you actually take the test in the first hour, I would say, usually, depending on how decisive somebody is and how quickly they can move through it. So it's a short-term process. And then in the second session, we just talk about other issues like maybe roadblocks that are standing between you and where you want to be with your passions. So the meat of the test can be done within an hour.
So it sounds like you do a little bit of coaching there as well.
A little bit, yeah, depending on what people need.
So what's like the feedback that you get from a lot of people that, you know, come in and do this and maybe they don't really know or they're not sure, they've heard about, okay, well, passion, that sounds really cool. What's kind of the feedback that you get from people?
The feedback that I usually get is that people look at their list of their top 5 and they go, oh my God, this is me on paper. Yeah, it's really, really great. And people get, you know, once they have that, depending on how courageous they are and what kind of life changes they want to make, they get varying degrees of results, but every single person who does it winds up better than they were when they first came to see me. And that's what I love about this, because it really makes a difference.
Well, if people want to get a hold of you and find out more about doing this passion test, because I think that it can be really helpful for people in finding their purpose and almost giving them permission to like, wow, okay, I thought about this before, but this is like really legit, and here's this person who's helping guide me in that direction. How can they get a hold of you?
Definitely. So I have my website. It's www.jackieducey.com. The last name is spelled D-U-C-C-I. And you can contact me there. My phone number is there. You can actually sign up for a consult right on the website as well. And that's where I will send you.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
we wish all of you a life filled with passion and purpose. Thank you. Are you frustrated at work, feeling overwhelmed and disconnected? Losing all hope? What if you could see things differently? Learn how to shift your focus and see that the keys to success are truly in your hands. Learn how to work as a team again and love your job, ultimately finding the success you're looking for. Success beyond your imagination, available at www.holistichealth.tv.
Clonia cava. This superfood from the ocean antioxidant force is much greater than anything grown on land's humic nutrients. Considered the essence of life, it's what helps plants grow naturally, has been shown to have incredible potential immune-enhancing properties. Aloe vera has been used for health and medicinal purposes. With 75 nutritional components, this unique lily plant is one of the most efficient delivery systems of nutrients into the bloodstream.
As a clinical psychologist, there's a part of my work that I find challenging. I have people come in and they share their story. And a lot of times their story is something happened when they were younger. It may have been a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, where they made a choice that had very, very long-term consequences to it. Perhaps they were a high school student or university student. They went to a party, they got drunk, and then now they're living with a rape incident. Someone got drunk and died. There's incest. There's all these different bad things that can happen from that one choice that now maybe, as again, 10 years later, that they are still living with the consequences. It only took perhaps 20 minutes to occur, and in a car accident it may have only taken a few seconds, but it has impacted them the rest of their life. And the reason I'm sharing this with you, because I think we sometimes forget that choices, good or bad choices, have long-term consequences to them. And good choices are more built upon day by day, week by week, and it has good consequences to it. Bad choices can occur like that and have long-term negative consequences to that. For example, you can get a good job, make a lot of money, and in 20 years have a good nest egg. Or in 20 years, at the end of that 20 years, you can go to Vegas and in one weekend lose it all. So bad choices can really have negative consequences to them very quickly. And I think if you realize that, if you do sometimes say, I don't care, I just want to have a good time, I just want to have fun, if you're going through that phase of your life, if you're knowing someone that is, share with them or help yourself to understand that those choices, those I don't care choices, I just want to have fun, and particularly when you're under the influence of a substance, those choices can really negatively impact you for the rest of your life. And if you see that, then you may say, okay, I am going to go to this party, but if I go, I'm going to make sure I have friends watching me, keeping an eye out on me, and be with people that are safe, because too often in my practice, I see people making these choices, and now they get to live with it the rest of their life. People that I work with in wheelchairs, people that have babies that they're having to raise as single parents. Just so many negative things can happen so quickly. And if you realize that bad choices can happen quickly, then through that awareness, you can say, all right, if I do something, I'm going to really be present and aware. I'm not going to put myself in situations where this can occur. So I think an example, if you do experiment with drugs or alcohol, if you go through that phase, which I don't encourage, but if you do, if you're going to do that, put yourself in situations where it'd be very difficult for you to make choices that will have long-term consequences, because they happen so fast and they injure you for years and years to come. And instead, continue to make good choices, but when you are tempted by the other, say, I'm going to make sure I'm safe. I'm going to make sure I'm well, because I don't want to have the consequences that will haunt me the rest of my life. Peace.
Our second question this week is from Marco in Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. Sometimes I feel very self-conscious and become withdrawn. Why is this occurring?
Marco, when we become very, very self-conscious, it's really because of one reason. It's because of the mind of ours. What happens is we get very self-critical, self-evaluating of ourselves. So when we do that, it hurts us. It's painful. And we tend to remove ourselves from pain. So you withdraw. You're around people, you hear the self-criticism, you're thinking, what do they think of me? What do I think of me? Am I being cool? Am I being appropriate? Because of all that self-talk, it's making you not want to be there, so you withdraw. Another option you have, perhaps a much more one that will work better for you, instead of focusing on yourself, just be present and focus on them. Use your focus to be on them, in dialogue with them, to really listen to them, being present with them, and don't really care too much about what you're going to say or what they think of you. Instead, focus on them. That focus attention on them will really dissipate the self-criticism, and so that you can really enjoy other people. And the wonderful thing is, they will enjoy you because you are so present with them. And when you're really present with the person, what you'll find is the self-criticism and the self-consciousness and the need to withdraw will be removed. What are your thoughts?
I think that was some really good advice, and I think that you're right in you saying that it's our thoughts that create us being self-conscious, but I want to go a step even further than that, because if we dive into what is the root cause for our self-consciousness, yes, it is our thoughts, but where do those thoughts come from? And I'm going to challenge you and say, let's look back at a little bit of how you grew up, your relationships maybe that you've had. Maybe you were in a romantic relationship with a person who wasn't very kind to you. Maybe they were abusive. It's amazing. You can see little kids that can be so amazing and feel so great, and somebody comes along and just tells them you can't do this or you're no good at that, and then what happens? They become self-conscious. Somebody criticizes them, they become self-conscious. And when you're self-conscious, yes, you do withdraw. So part of all this work and part of what will help you also quiet the mind is figuring out where it kind of stems from. Where did this come from? If I can realize that maybe I'm feeling this way because of my conditioning and I can work to counteract some of those things, it's almost like you've been brainwashed to believe these things, that you're not good enough, maybe you don't have the right job, you don't look a certain way, that, whatever it is. And the truth is that that you're beautiful no matter what. You have a lot to offer this world. And I'm saying that to everybody out there. I don't care what you look like, how old you are, what disabilities you have something to offer. So go within and work on some of those issues, explore kind of what's gone on.
I really like what you said, Elizabeth, because I think so often we forget the impact that other people can have on us and why that makes us so self-conscious. So as with the past, I think in the present you need to ask yourself, are the people I'm hanging out with, are they being critical of me? Because if they are, you are going to want to withdraw, don't you think?
I absolutely do. And I think on top of that, I just, I want to say media can be really great. Media and like just watching different shows can be wonderful. They can be positive, but there's also a lot of negative out there. There's a lot of shows that are talking about like you have to look this certain way or suck some fat out of here or tuck here or whatever. And it makes us really feel bad about ourselves. And we see these images of people that really aren't real. There's so many airbrushings and this and that. And I've actually heard of some stars even who have gotten upset with magazines for doing so much airbrushing over them. So really pay attention to what you're exposing yourself to, who you're exposing yourself to, and learn to quiet this mind. Thank you so much for your question.
Stem cells play a vital role in our body's ability to heal, but become less effective as we get older. StemKine is a daily supplement that has been clinically proven to increase stem cell circulation. Research has shown that circulating stem cells boost our ability to prevent or recover from injury, disease, or chronic conditions. Your stem cells can help you repair, restore, and regenerate. StemKine is an all-natural supplement proven to enhance your stem cells' activity and thereby improve your health.
Co-hosts of the Holistic Success Show, Dr. Puff and Elizabeth Lozano, MA, want to teach you how to live a meditative life. Learn to still your mind, diminish negative thinking, experience peace and bliss, and be 100% present in the moment. Retreats provide a unique opportunity to learn new skills, meet new people, and interact with Elizabeth Lozano and Dr. Puff. For information or reservations for upcoming retreats, please visit holisticretreats.tv. Expand your capacity for joyful living today.
This week's quote is by St. Francis de Sales. Have patience with all things, but chiefly have patience with yourself. This is the key to loving yourself, which is so important. So have patience with everyone, but most importantly, have patience with you. Thank you for joining us on the Holistic Success Show. I'd like to say a special thank you to Jean Marie Boutique for providing me with this outfit today. And also, if you'd like to learn more about meditation, please visit our website or our iTunes to listen to our Meditation for Health podcast.
And if you'd like to learn more about our books and our CDs, please visit our bookstore at our website.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you have a wonderful week.